Yo, it's Trent. Hope everyone's having a good day, good weekend so far. Love Saturdays, and we got a good story, right? So we got eating edibles before school, and also, this isn't part of the title, but I almost left my car at the school. Almost. So we'll get to that, but this is a good one. So let's get started, right? This happened at the alternative high school I went to. So after pretty much right during the pandemic stuff, right? I had to go into school, normal high school, to see if I could fix my grades, and there was only like 5 or 6 of us in there, right? And eventually, we finished the year up. I think we finished junior year, right? Finished junior year in the pandemic stage. And then the next year, people can go back to school, right? I'm expecting to go back to the normal high school, all that. But I get some calls over the summer. They tell me to come into the school. I go in there. They're like, okay, you have to go to an alternative school if you want to graduate, right? And I'm like, that's fine, because at least I'll still be able to graduate. I didn't think I'd be able to because I missed so much from inside sophomore year and even the beginning of junior. I just missed so much school. I was just surprised, right? I was like, okay, at least I can graduate. So I go to this alternative school, and quickly I figured out that it was the easiest thing I've done in my life, right? I only had to go for an hour to 2 hours a day. And you may be asking, how is that even possible? Well, when I missed sophomore year and stuff, I only missed like all my classes I got okay grades in, enough to pass, except for like a couple math classes, right? So really all I had to do was math every day. So I had to get there at like between 9 and 10 a.m., right? And I was supposed to get there at I was supposed to get there at like right at 9 a.m. or right before 9 a.m., but they never cared because the first day I was late, second day, and I only went to that school for about 2 months from the start of the year until I graduated way early when I shouldn't have even graduated, right? But as you can see, it was easy, right? So that's what gave me the confidence to eat edibles before going to this school. So basically, I would drive to school in the morning, right? I would wake up, get ready, and drive to school. Literally less than a 2-minute drive. It's right down the street. It's the closest high school to me, and it's in the basement of that. It's an alternative school, right? So I am, getting ready to drive there, and I had edibles. I wish I could remember the flavor or even the well, I don't need to remember the amount. It's usually always 100 milligrams in the bags from the dispensary. But I wasn't going to eat all of them, obviously. But I did want to get high. So I ate 4 of them, right? 40 milligrams, which is about an average dosage, right? Like, if I was going out to, like, let's just say Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, right? If I'm going to hang out with family and I wanted to be a little bit, a little bit stoned without it being noticeable, I'd eat 40, right? So I thought 40 would be good because I was like, I'll eat them, I'll drive to school before they kick in, and then they should kick in when I'm there. And then I'll stay for an hour or two. I'll be a little less high. I'll be fine to drive. I'm less than a minute away. But also, I wasn't going to drive really high. I'm not dumb. I'm not going to crash. We're at a school. But also, since I get to leave early, there's no one around. It's the middle of the day when I usually leave. Or not the middle of the day, but it's like in the morning, no one's driving around, and I'm driving through neighborhoods to get home. So I wasn't too worried about it, but I didn't want to get caught either, right? So eat the 4, drive to school, and honestly, right after I ate them, I almost felt like for a second I could feel them, but that's how it always is with me. Like, I swear, I'll eat, like, whether it's one of those RSO capsules or just, like, cookies or gummies or whatever, right? I'll eat them, and, like, 30 seconds later, I'll be like, whoa, can I feel them? And then I know that, like, it's gonna take 40 minutes or an hour or however long to kick it. But there's just that quick second where I'm like, whoa, do I feel that? So I remember feeling that feeling in the car, right? And I pull up, and I usually parked in the same like 2, 3 spots, depending on if people parked there. And the nice thing about the alternative school was you had your own little parking lot. We parked with the teachers and stuff. It was really nice. It was right by the door, right? So I go to my normal parking spot, park in there, and then I'm sitting in the car, right? And I'm just hitting my vape, listening to music until, I was ready to go in, and I'm pretty sure I was only like 2, 3 minutes late, so I wasn't worried about it. I was just getting everything, getting my bearings straight. That's what's his name? LA Beast always says. He goes, gotta get my bearings straight, right? That's what I was doing. I'm sitting there, hitting my vape, finishing the song. Stuff gets done. I go inside, right? And I remember sometimes, not always, but usually they'd have like little breakfast things for us if we wanted them, which was cool because in normal high school you had to pay for breakfast if you wanted it, you know? But at this alternative school, you'd walk in there and they'd be like, hey, if you want like a little breakfast sandwich, you want juice, you want milk, whatever, they'd give it to you for free, right? It was cool. So I went in there, grabbed some juice. I think usually I'd grab like juice, and every now and again they'd have Rice Krispie treats. I think I grabbed one of those. Go sit in my class, right? Not even 10 minutes into being in the class, right? So it's only been like maybe 30 minutes since I've eaten them, so they should not kick in yet. Or at least I thought in my head they should not be kicking in yet, right? We're watching this history video, and I wasn't even in, like, I was in the class, but I didn't need to finish it for a requirement. So I'm just in this class just to kill time, basically. And these edibles kicked my ass for only 40 milligrams. I mean, they kicked my ass. It's not like I was like stuck like so high, but when I'm expecting like a medium buzz, and then I was zooming up there after 30 minutes, you know? And we're watching this history video, and I can't remember which president it was, but there's this old president, black and white video, right? And he's giving a speech talking, and I'm sitting there just getting higher by the second watching this dude. Like, imagine if he could see what I was doing right now. Like, that would not be a very proud president, you know? He'd be like, the youth of our nation is getting absolutely ripped while watching this. Like, goddamn, you know? But what are you gonna do? So after that, I had one little math thing I had to complete before I had to go home, right? And we watched that for maybe, I don't know, like it was a 20-30 minute thing, right? It was a long speech. And then she was, the teacher after the speech was done was like giving us notes about it. But like I said, I didn't have to do any of that. So I was just sitting there stoned, just smiling basically. I was sitting there like, you know? And so eventually, period ends or whatever, and I have to go to my little math class, right? And you want to know how easy it was? Think about this. When I failed all those math classes sophomore year, it was like, I think it was just like algebra or whatever's after algebra, you know? So it wasn't that hard. But when I was in the alternative school, this is what we did on this day that I was super stoned, right? We were counting we were like counting change. Like we were doing shit I did in like first grade kindergarten, you know? Like when they had the plastic fake change and they'd be like, how much does this make? We were doing shit like that. And I was a senior in high school, so it's like, what are we doing here, you know? Super easy, even when I'm stoned to the top, to the gills, to the absolute stony baloney, you know, all the way stoned. I could do this easy, right? So I finished that in like fucking 5-10 minutes, and now I can leave, right? So I say bye to people. I mean, I only had like 2 friends in the alternative school, so I saw them, went to the bathroom to hit my vape just because, I mean, I could walk to my car and hit it, but, you know, I was only in school for like an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes. I was like, might as well stay in the building a couple more minutes, and I knew I wouldn't get caught, you know? So I'm in the stall just hitting the vape, you know, and it felt like I was still getting higher, which didn't make sense. It was like maybe they haven't fully kicked in yet, but that an hour and a half later they should have, especially if I felt it hitting me over an hour ago, you know? So I go out to my car and I'm sitting there and I was like, I have plenty of time. I have nothing I have to go do. Let me just sit in the parking lot until I'm comfortable enough to drive, right? But the problem was everyone from the alternative school, not everyone, but I wasn't the only one that got to leave early, you know? Other people would be leaving and teachers too. And I'd be seeing them and I'd be so stoned. I knew my eyes were probably cashed because my eyes don't get red when I smoke, but they get red when I eat a lot of edibles, right? So my eyes are cashed. I'm sitting in my car like stoned, like uncomfortable, you know, like sitting there wishing I was in my bed. And I didn't feel too comfortable driving. I almost left my car. I was deciding, sitting there thinking, I could realistically walk home in like, it'll take me like 5 minutes, sleep for a while, or just lay there, you know, enjoy the high, and then I'll ride my bike back, throw it in the back of my car and drive home, or just walk and drive home, you know? But I didn't know if they'd tow me at all, and which logically they wouldn't have, because I had enough time to go home and come back. Like, the school didn't close till, like, what, 3 or 4 or 5 or something, plus the janitor, so I would have been fine. But I didn't want to leave my car, so I sat there for maybe another, I don't know, I say 20 minutes, but it could have been 40 and it could have been like 10 minutes too. I don't know. I sat there for what felt like a while till I was like, okay, I feel comfortable driving through a couple neighborhoods to get home. Whip my car around, go home, right? And I remember walking inside and I realized, besides the little juice at the beginning of this story, when I walked into school, I had not had a drink at all. So my mouth was just deadly. I needed a drink so bad. I had horrible cotton mouth and I was stressing, hitting my vape, the vape helps like temporarily, but if you're like only ripping that without a drink, it kind of makes it worse, like your cotton mouth. So I'm sitting there like, God, let me grab a drink. And I grabbed a drink, chugged it. I felt great, right? But I decided that day, I was like, even though I knew I'd be graduating soon, I was like, man, I'm never taking edibles before I go to school because that was just dumb. All I did, like, it was kind of fun being in the school, everybody around me sober, we're watching this boring speech, and I'm high as a kite. That was fun, but the stress of, like, thinking, should I drive high? Should I not drive high? When it wasn't that big of a deal, but in my head it was because I was so, like, baked, I was like, I don't know what to do. But it all turned out fine, just wasn't too smart. I wouldn't recommend taking edibles before school because that's just not very smart. That's dumb. That's what that is. That's dumb. But good story, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you sub, share, like, comment, all that. Check out my other videos, gaming videos, puppy videos. Thanks for watching and peace out.